Hey everybody, welcome to Signature Sound Studio A. We have a beautiful API 1608 32 channel console with some bitchin' EQs in it. API 550B, 550A, 560. Out here we got our massive passive, our Veramu, our ELOP, our Veramu, our ELOP, our DBXs, our distressors, our 1176s, our LA2A, our retro, bunch of cool stuff. So, we are going to do an analog mix. Oh, Deborah Reeves, audio engineer extraordinaire. She's an amazing audio engineer, and she is not usually assisting me because she's too cool for that, but today she's going to be hanging out and helping out, so thank you, Deb. The first thing we need to do is take a listen to what we got here and make sure that the unity balance that's sort of thrown up right now is cool. Then we're going to add a little EQ on the massive passive on the master bus, and then we're going to add a little compression with the Allen Smart C2 down here. Those are both going to do a lot of heavy lifting on the mix. A lot of our compression is going to come from the master bus, and a lot of our EQ is going to come from the massive passive. Let's hear what we got. I don't know if you can get this down here real quick. I multed the bass onto two faders. So instead of a single fader with the bass DI, the bass amp, and the bass distortion, I have that coming up on its single fader and then on a second fader, and I'll probably parallel compress it. So if you see me moving stuff, two faders at once for bass, that's why. It's really a duplicate of the original track. So hence that's going to be considerably lower at this point. Cool. So at Unity, everything sounds pretty reasonable. Panning's already kind of up. Let's add some EQ and compression on the master bus. Cool. So let me do playback. Okay, so kind of a lot of EQ on the massive passive. When we dump it to tape later, the top end is definitely going to chill out, and as is the bottom end. So it's okay to push the top a little bit more than maybe I want, and the bottom a little bit more than maybe I want. The tape compression will make that sound awesome. So I might change that later, but that's how we're going to leave that for now. So let's add some compression.
Taking up frustrations of the world tonight. There's only
Okay, kind of a lot of compression, but it sounds good. I'm totally cool with that. I will illustrate for you guys what that sounds like in and out. So here it is out. In. Out. Too much level gain actually when I did that, so let me adjust that real quick. Okay, so let's try that again. Out. In. Out. Compressor's tightening it up like it would normally, and the EQ's adding a nice little bit of hype to the whole thing, which was already kind of mid-rangey sounding, so I like that. That's a good starting spot. That'll enable me to add less top end on the console, less bottom end on the console, and will enable me to sort of sculpt a little better and shape a little better individually on the console without having to just crank away top and bottom. It's just the way I like to do things when I'm working in analog like this. Also, I should mention that the EQ is post-compressor. I actually EQ after the master bus, and there's a couple reasons for that, but mostly I don't want to push a bunch of bottom end into that C2. I'd rather, if I'm going to be cranking bottom end on the master bus, I'd rather do it post-compression. I don't want to add a bunch of bottom end into the master bus compressor personally. There's exceptions to all these things, but typically, if I'm adding EQ on the master bus, it is post-compression. So that's important. That's super important, actually. So that all sounds really good. Let's go ahead and continue with the individual tracks, starting with the kick drum.